Good morning to one and all present here. I would like to welcome Dr. Ponma Kishan, Professor in Aerospace Engineering, Chandigarh University. I wholeheartedly welcome our head of the department, Dr. R. Suresh Babu, who stood with us in conducting various events for the benefits of students. My warm welcome goes to my dear students, whom I believe will make use of the session to the best. Now, I request our HOD to introduce the chief guest to our students. Thank you. Sir, please. Sir, Suresh Babu, sir.
ஏன் சவுண்டே கேட்கல மேடம் மேடம் பேசுங்க so dear students am I audible so am I audible
Yes, sir.
மறுபடியும் ஜாயின் பண்ணணுமா இல்ல எனக்கு ஒண்ணுமே கேட்கலையே மேடம் இப்போ நம்ம இதுக்கு ஒண்ணு ரெஸ்பான்ஸை காணோம் ஓ ரைட் oh thank you Niveda okay shall we start good morning to everybody I am very happy to invite today's guest lecturer Ponma Kishan assistant professor of aerospace engineering Chandigarh University so it's a founder and president society of Aero Initiator and coordinator of ISRO Outreach Network Center. From that itself, I think everybody can understand he is contributing a lot to our nation, right? So not only in the college level, it is a national level. You know that ISRO is an Indian Space Research Organization. It is they are having the responsibility to launch, okay, satellites for the benefit of the nation. So we are very proud that our chief guest is working in that area, right? So Ponma Kishan is well known. I saw his news. I think he gave interview with the TV channel. I saw the complete thing. From that, I understand that he is having a lot of idea, and also he gave the importance of electronics and communication in aerospace engineering, right? What are the opportunities for our students in aerospace engineering, right? So it's a very big field and important field, only less number of people are working. So surely I think some of our students may interest in those areas, right? And we should give awareness to our students regarding this. Okay, avionics is a very big area, sir. Avionics, right? Avionics is a subject for some of the courses. It is a subject, right? It is one of the topic in ME entrance, TANSET. I think everybody knows that TANSET, Tamil Nadu Common Entrance Test. That's for ME entrance examination. That is having one part is avionics. I think our Ponma Kisan is specialized in those areas. I want to give you a small introduction, that's all. About his profession, is a founder and president of Society of Aero. Right? The Society of Aero is a government recognized body. He is a mentor of change, especially Niti Ayog by Government of India. So you know that is in our Prime Minister Narendra Modi's, that is important organization. He created this one Niti Ayog, right? From that he is acting as a mentor. So mentor means he is giving expert advice, right? Then he is the editor in chief of the Journal of Mechanical and Aero Engineering Research. He is the initiator and coordinator of ISRO Outreach Network Center of Satyar University, right? So presently he is assistant professor of aerospace engineering, Chandigarh University, then regional coordinator for NASA Scientist for a Day, then reviewer of Elsevier's journal Material Proceedings. His education background is he completed BE Aeronautical Engineering in Anna University, Chennai, and he completed ME Aeronautical Engineering in Anna University, Chennai, and he is pursuing PhD in Aerospace Engineering in Chandigarh University. The research areas and publications are hypersonic vehicle dynamics, aerospace vehicle design, and space tourism. This is an interesting research area. He published 2 books, 1 patent, 1 copyright, 5 research articles, 2 international conferences, 5 national conferences, 8 national workshops, and 1 world record. So 1 world record for awards and achievements. So the Mentors of Change 2018 is awarded by Niti Ayog of Government of India. Best Research Paper Award in 2019 awarded by the International Conference on Functional Materials. Then Best Teacher Award 2019 awarded during Teachers' Day at Chandigarh. Membership is a member at American Institute of Aeronautical and Astronautics in AIAA. Then affiliate member at Royal Aeronautical Society in England, US, UK. Member at National Renewable Energy Laboratory, USA. Member at IEEE in nanotechnology. So participated the events like acted as a convener for 4-day national level aerospace conference, is having 12 workshops and lectures, organizing 3 Aero award function organizer, the first North India Space Expo, Space Phyla. Then he is an invited guest lecturer at IIT Mandi, Air Force, GTC, RSC, NCSM, Government of India, and other various institutions. So I think everybody can understand he is a highly resource person. This guest lecture will highly help us to enlighten the new field, especially instruments in aerospace vehicles, right? So our EC students having a lot of scope in this. So right resource person, sir, on behalf of our management, principal, vice principal, and department of
எல்லாத்தையும் மியூட்
ECE,
பண்ணல.
I welcome you, sir. So shortly accepting our invitation, and now you are with us. So thank you, Ponma Kisan sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Suresh sir and Jailashmi ma'am for the
Thank you for your presence.
wonderful welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
With this, I invite you to give a guest lecture.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Let me share my screen.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Please,
Thank you, sir.
all the stage is yours, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, my screen is visible.
Not yet, sir. Yes, sir. Your screen is visible, sir.
Okay, fine. So shall I start the session?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. You can start the sessions.
Okay. Good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Dr.
Sorry
Yes.
to interrupt.
Yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
we will be happy to know about your world record at the end of the lecture, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, I will explain that what we have done in the world record. Surely, I will
Yes, sir.
explain.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sure. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Suresh, head of the department, Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology. And also, I would like to thank Dr. Jayalashmi ma'am for inviting and coordinating this wonderful session in the morning. And most of all, like the students, those who are from electronics background, so warm welcome to this session. So, as the title indicates, importance of electronic systems and instruments in aerospace vehicle. So when we speak about aerospace, the upcoming futuristic field, right? But aerospace is not only belongs to the aeronautical or aerospace engineers. It is a combination of all type of engineers. All type of engineers are working in one field, which is aerospace, to develop the futuristic world. So how these instruments and systems are going to help in aerospace vehicle, both aircrafts and spacecrafts. So since you guys are from basic like electronic background, so you might not have aware of what is happening in aerospace engineering. So what I have framed in this session is, first of all, we will understand what is the basic aircraft system and what are the control surfaces and how the aircraft is flying and what are the instruments are used in aircraft and what are the electronic systems are used in aircraft. So these things we are going to cover. So before that, I would like to tell few things that I am specialized in aircraft design and flight mechanics, how to control the aircraft. Since the avionics subject is one of the basic subjects for us, okay. So there are specialized areas are there in master degree. When you are completed the bachelor, there are specialized degree called ME Avionics, which is in available in Tamil Nadu Madras Institute of Technology. It is coming under aerospace. They will be training that students. So how these electronics and instruments are fitted in the aircraft cockpit and also in other parts of the aircraft, and how we are going to, how the instruments are going to help the aircraft to fly. Okay. So what we will be learning. So first of all, I will be giving the general introduction. What are the aircraft systems and aircraft instruments are there, and how the instruments are used in the aircraft, and what type of electronic systems currently they are using, and futuristic space communication that we will be discussing a little bit, and opportunity with our wings of air. So these topics we will be covering, and finally, as ma'am requested, we will be covering about that world record also, what we have done in the world record. Okay. So you have to be very much clear that we are not going into the depth of avionics or instruments in used in the aerospace vehicle. We are going to learn the basic, how the instruments are helping the aircraft to fly. Okay, so this is what we are going to learn. So you have to be very much clear. We are not going into the depth of the avionics field, because avionics study will take like if you want to carry a degree, it will take 2 years minimum, right? So if you want to study as a subject, it will take 6 months. So we cannot finish those entire topic, vast topic, in a 1 hour lecture. Okay. So what we are going to give as a basic is, we are going to understand about the instruments and other systems of avionics in aircrafts and aerospace vehicle. So when we call the term avionics, so it is a portmanteau of aviation plus electronics. So you can add that aviation and electronics, we can call that as avionics. So generally, avionics is the systems, electronic systems used on aircraft, artificial satellites, and spacecraft. So what are that avionics systems included? Like branches of avionics, right? So avionics system included communications, navigation, and display and management of multiple systems. We will see that what type of systems we are going to speak about that, what type of display we are going to see about that. Most probably, since you guys are from electronics and communication background, you are very much aware of how you are going to communicate and navigate, right? But you may not have a problem like how the display system is working and how we are going to manage the multiple system, right, in an aircraft. And also there are so much hundreds and thousands of systems nowadays. There are depending upon the aircraft and spacecraft, we are having thousands of systems that are fitted to aircraft. So generally, when we say an aircraft is flying, suppose if you are seeing the sky and you are seeing that an aircraft is flying, the aircraft is flying because of near about 40 lakh components. 40 lakh components in a single aircraft, single jet engine aircraft. Okay. So think about that. There are thousands of electronic instruments, thousands of mechanical parts, more than that. Okay. Every component need to work. 40 lakh components need to work together to successfully fly an aircraft. Right. So the coordination between electronics and mechanical components, it has to be together so that we can fly an aircraft successfully. So when we speak about aircraft, it comes under helicopter and all type of drones and whatever the flying instruments are there. Okay, because the spacecrafts or whatever the futuristic aerospace vehicle we are speaking about, it started with a small aircraft from the Wright brothers. Okay, so it started with a small aircraft. So studying the instruments in the aircraft will help you to understand, okay, these are the basic instruments necessary for the spacecrafts also. Okay, spacecrafts, helicopters, air balloons, right, and airship is there, right, drones and UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. So for all of these vehicles, aerospace vehicle, the basic concept came from the aircraft pilot cockpit. Okay, so if you study about the aircraft pilot cockpit, you can understand, but it is not going to be similar for every aerospace vehicle, but you can understand these are the necessary instruments and systems for an aerospace vehicle. Okay, so before entering into the core area, I would like to show some one interesting slide so that you can understand how this lecture is going to helpful for your bright future. Okay, so basically professionalism, right, you are a professional student, and when you are completing the degree, you are a professional, your faculty is a professional, and everyone, engineers, those who are working out there, they are coming under a professional, right? So here I have mentioned three different category of professionalism. The first one is T-shaped professionalism. T-shaped professionalism. And the second one is pie-shaped professionalism, 3.14, right? Pie-shaped professionalism. And the third one is M-shaped professionalism. So these three categories are there. Okay. So why I am going to explain this and what is the importance of this professionalism. So at the end of the lecture, you have to be aware that how this lecture is going to helpful for your future. Okay. So let's come into the T-shaped professionalism first of all. So there is a horizontal line and there is a vertical line, right? There is a horizontal line and there is a vertical line in T shape. Let's consider the horizontal line indicates the engineering degree, what we are studying. Okay, engineering degree. And if I am speaking about myself, then I have to say the vertical line is my degree branch, aeronautical. Okay, aerospace. So in your case, it is electronics and communication. Generally, when the people are passing out, they are coming with this category. Okay, generally, I'm speaking. If there are 100 people are there, 100 students are there, over 90 students are coming with the T-shaped professionalism. T-shaped professionalism. That is, engineering is our degree, and our branch is aerospace or EC or mechanical, whatever it's so. But what company currently expects? What the industry expects from us? There are so many engineers out there, so they don't need those who are specialized on the branch wise, like aerospace, or I have a degree in aerospace, or I have a degree in EC. The company currently in 2021, they are expecting the pie-shaped professionalism. So what is this pie-shaped professionalism means? So again, we are having a horizontal line and we are having two vertical lines, right? Two vertical lines we are having. So this horizontal line indicates again the engineering, and the vertical line, first vertical line indicates our aerospace, or in your case it is EC, and the second vertical line is in which area I am specialized. So there are many areas in aerospace also: aerodynamics, propulsion, propulsion, right? So flight mechanics. There are many specialized areas are there. Okay. So even I can include avionics. Even I can include avionics. Okay. So there are many specialized area. So in which area I am specialized? So being an engineer, I have to get specialized in any one of the core areas, aerodynamics or flight mechanics or avionics. Okay. So this is what company is expecting. I don't need a general degree. I need a people, those who are having specialized area. So out of 100, only 7 people are coming out with the professionalism of pi shape. So in your case, electronics is your degree, electronics is your branch, and you are having various type of specialization, right? Digital signal processing, communication systems, and robotics and automation. So VLSI. So like that, that is your specialization. So you have to be specialized in any one of the area. So this pi-shaped professionalism will help you to reach out and get a good company opportunity in 2021. But when it comes to the future, that is, if you are looking for the jobs after 2030, you have to switch yourself into a pi-shaped professionalism, sorry, M-shaped professionalism. So what is this M indicates? So again, we are having a horizontal line and 3 vertical lines, right? So again, this horizontal line indicates the engineering, and the first line indicates my branch aeronautical, and second line indicates my specialization, right? So let's consider, in my case, I am specialized in flight mechanics. Okay, flight mechanics. Okay. So the third category is, third vertical line indicates how I am going to apply or how I am going to collaborate with the other branches. I am having a special aerospace branch degree. I have specialized in flight mechanics, but that is not enough. How I am going to use the third specialized department, let's say computer science or mechanical or electronics, ECE. How I am going to use this specialized departments that will help in my specialized area, that is flight mechanics. I have to take applications of CSE either to develop some softwares for my flight mechanics subject, or I am going to mechanical department to do some materials research, or if I am going to do some various type of mechatronics works, right, research work, or I have to work with electronics ECE department to develop some electronics which will help for my specialized area, flight mechanics. So only 3 out of 100 students, 3 out of 100 students are coming out as M-shaped professionalism. So since I heard that you guys are pre-final years, most of you are pre-final year, so you have to start developing your skills in such that you are having a degree electronics and you are going to specialize in some area, VLSI or embedded engineering or communication engineering, right? So how you are going to apply that into a third, that is application oriented, whether you are going to apply in any mechanical field, or whether you are going to apply that in computer science field, or whether you are going to apply that in aerospace field, that you have to choose before leaving the college itself. So you have to choose your projects, find your projects particularly focused on this M-shaped professionalism. So in our case, you guys are electronic students, and of course you are very much interested in some subjects, some specialized subject. So how that specialized subject will helpful for you to apply in aerospace, that's what we are going to learn here. Okay, so how you are going to apply your knowledge in aerospace. Okay, so that's why I have framed this with importance of electronics systems and instruments in aerospace vehicle. Okay, hope you can understand. So without wasting much time, we will enter into the avionics systems. So generally when we speak about aircraft, right, So as I told earlier, there are various types of engineers need to work together. Okay, not only an aerospace engineer can develop an aircraft, or not only an aerospace engineer can develop a spacecraft. All the systems, all the engineers need to work together to develop the aircraft or to launch the aircraft. Okay, so even Elon Musk has tweeted that, first of all, they when there was an interview, okay, in Elon Musk, he has told that I need a electronics engineer first of all, then only I need a mechanical engineer, then only I need computer science department, and fourth, right? He told that finally I need an aerospace engineer. Okay, because the basic concept begins with communication and instrumentation. Okay, so that's why he has pointed out that. And many US entrepreneurs, right, there are big entrepreneurs in United States, they have also given that statement. Okay, for the final design, final launching, they need aerospace engineer, but before that, for instruments and everything, they need electronic instruments as in the preliminary step. Okay, so let's see what of the aircraft avionics systems are there. So first of all, communication system. So that is very basic. Since you guys are from that background, you are very much aware of that. Communication is very much necessary. Navigation. So how we are going to navigate from one place to another place. Suppose if I am taking off from Chennai and I want to learn in Delhi. So how I am going to navigate, to which airspace we are going to travel. Okay. So navigation is very much important. Monitoring. So the entire aircraft will be monitored. The systems of the aircraft will be monitored by the cockpit, in the cockpit by the pilot, as well as the same monitoring will be done from the ground station also. Ground station, okay, GS. In air traffic controller, might be you might be heard about that, right? So air traffic controller in ATC, we will be calling that as ATC. In every airport, we will be having this air traffic controller. So they will monitor your movements. Okay, they will monitor your movements. All the systems will be also monitored in the pilot's cockpit. Apart from that, the ground station will also monitor your flight. So that for that also electronic is very much important. Aircraft flight control systems. So how we are going to use this control the aircraft? Okay, we have to fly, right? We are not driving a car, right? A car is having wheels and it is going to drive. We are going to drive in a road, right? But here we are going to fly. So to fly in the air and to stabilize the aircraft, we need flight control systems. I will explain like what are the control systems are there and how this can be done mutually. Electronics instruments can be done. Okay, so flight control system is very much necessary. Okay, here I have just listed out. So in the next upcoming slides, we will see in depth of all these systems. Okay, so flight control systems we will see in the later slides. So fuel systems, right? So fuel sensors and fuel, because the fuel is stored either in the wing, fuel will be stored in the wing or under the fuselage of the aircraft. Okay, under the fuselage of the aircraft. So under the wing or under the body of the aircraft. Okay, so fuel will be stored. So fuel injection, fuel separation and fuel alignment, right? So that has to be decided and that has to be controlled, right? Fuel flow control need to be done. So fuel systems are there. And collision avoidance systems. So we have to be very much careful that we should not collide with other aircrafts, or we should not hit any buildings or surfaces or in any mountains. So collision avoidance system need to be there. Flight recordings, each and every communication, each and every activities of flight will be recorded. Okay, so flight recorders instruments also used over there. So weather systems. So to calculate the weather conditions like pressure and density, as well as turbulence effect in the air, right? Sometimes you might hear that high pressure is there in the ocean, like that, right? So weather systems need to be determined. So each and every aircraft will be having the weather systems also. Aircraft management system. So to manage all the systems, because we need to know whether our communication is working correctly, we need to know whether our navigation is working correctly, our monitoring is working correctly, and whether our control systems are working correctly or not, right? We are having separate systems for each and every work, but whether the systems are working or not, that need to be managed. So the aircraft management system or flight management system, sometimes they will be calling it as FMS, flight management system. So this flight management system need to be very much sure that they have to be very much aware of this, so that they can understand all the systems are working correctly or not. Okay. So then we are having military communications. So for fighter aircrafts, obviously there are different type of communication systems will be used, military communication, and radar, sonar, and electro optics will be also used. So ESM and DSA is for defense. For defense they will be using. Okay. So we will see that what are those factors and how it is going to helpful in upcoming slides. Okay. Right. So these are the avionics systems. What I have given is systems. Right? So what are the instruments used in an aircraft? So as I told earlier, I am not going to cover the modern aircrafts. I am going to cover the basic aircraft instruments, since you guys are very much not aware of what are the instruments used in the aircraft. So once you understand these concepts, you can come up and you can learn many things with modern aircrafts also. Okay. So let's see what are the basic aircraft instruments are there. Pitot static systems and instruments, altimeter, vertical speed indicator, airspeed indicator, altitude indicator, heading indicator, turn indicator, and skid indicator, turn rate indicator. So these are the very basic aircraft instruments. So when I speak about very basic aircraft instruments, I hope you might have seen some aircrafts which is having a two-seater aircraft for pilot training, or some aircrafts are having a four-seater aircraft, right? So in those aircrafts, how and what type of instruments will be there? Okay, so that's what listed over here. Okay, so we will see this. First of all, what is Pitot stack systems and instruments? So I will explain all these instruments. Okay, no need to worry, I will explain that. So let's see the first one, Pitot static system and instrument. The most important instrument, without this Pitot static systems and instrument, the pilot cannot fly the aircraft. Without this Pitot static systems and instrument. So although the image what I have represented here, it looks like a mechanical device, right? It is working on based on mechanical, but the modern aircrafts and modern spacecrafts are using electronics instruments, okay, for displaying, for understanding this concept, and sensors, or various type of sensors are used over there. But you need to understand the basic concept, right? So that's why we have given over here how the systems are going to work, how the instruments are going to work. So aircraft is flying in the air, right? So an aircraft is flying in the air, so the air is going to pass around the aircraft, above and below the aircraft, and side to side, right? Like when we are driving in a bike, so we are driving a bike against the air, right? So air is going to flow around our body, around our bike, or around our car, right? So similar to that, in aircraft also, the air is going to flow around the aircraft. Okay. So at that time, we need various types of parameters. So what type of parameters? When you are driving a car, what type of parameters you are getting? Speed of the car, like RPM of your engine, temperature in the engine, right? And how much fuel is there? How much instruments, like what are the seat belt sign and brake, hand brake sign? So like that, you are getting the indication in your car, right? But when it comes to the aircrafts, similar type of parameters are necessary. Okay, so make that clear. In a car, we need to know about velocity of the car, RPM, and few factors, right? So that are all listed in the dashboard of the car, right? We are having dashboard, and it is indicating, fuel indication is there, everything. So similar to that, in aircraft also we need that type of instruments. So here we are having airspeed indicator, vertical speed indicator, and altimeter. So I will explain all these instruments individually. Okay, I will explain in the upcoming slides all these three instruments. So we have already seen that over here also. Vertical altimeter, vertical speed indicator, and airspeed indicator. So all these three instruments are working with the single system called pitot static system. So without this pitot static system, these instruments cannot work. Okay. So let's see that for what this altimeter is working on, and for what this vertical speed indicator is working on, and aircraft speed. Am I audible? Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Now audible,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes,
Audible, sir.
you are audible, sir. Right, sir.
Ma'am, I don't know when I have left this.
Just 1 minute, sir.
Okay. So while I am explaining this, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So like similar to the car, we are having
The air is passed around
speedometer.
that
Yes.
airplane. You told us that time. You, I think, cut audio. Okay,
Okay.
so you proceed.
Okay, sir. Okay, fine. I will explain that again. So the air is flowing around the aircraft also, above the aircraft, below the aircraft, and side to side, right? Like kind of like we are driving a car. So in car we are having many instruments. Speedometer we are having, fuel indicator we are having, right? So those instruments are helping us to understand various concepts, how much speed we are going, right? So we need to decrease the speed or we need to increase the speed. We need to change the gear or we can use the same level gear, right? So those ideas we are gaining from the indicators, right? Instruments in the car. So similar to that, we are having some instruments in aircraft pilot cabin also that will help the pilot to understand what is happening in the aircraft. Okay. So the three major instruments are altimeter, vertical speed indicator, and airspeed indicator. Okay, these three are the major instruments in the aircraft. So these three instruments are running based on the pitot static system. So this one is the pitot static system. Okay. So without this pitot static system, these three instruments cannot work. These three instruments cannot work. Okay. So how this pitot system is working on? Since we are moving against the air, right? So there will be two holes will be there in the port. There will be two holes will be there, right? So here also you can see. So this is the first hole, which is called as pitot tube. So the little bit orange and gray mixed, right? So this is pitot tube, and the blue color outer layer of the blue color, that is static hole. So what is this pitot and static? So from the static, you can understand that static air pressure. When the air is not moving, then we can call that as static air pressure, right? So the basic physics concept. So when the air is moving, we will be having the dynamic pressure. So the hole which is indicated over here is the dynamic pressure, that will measure the dynamic pressure, and the hole over here that will help us to measure the static pressure. So the difference between the static pressure and dynamic pressure will help us to give the total pressure of air. Total pressure of air. So the first parameter which is necessary to understand the system and instrument work is we need to calculate the pressure value, right? So this pitot stat instrument will help us to calculate the pressure system. So based on this pressure values, all these three instruments will be working on. All these three instruments will be working on. Okay. So here we have included one heater also. the reason why we have included a heater, so pitot heater switch will be there. The reason why we are including a heater, the aircraft when it is flying above 10 kilometer from the earth surface, let's consider the aircraft is flying about 10 kilometer, right? So the temperature will be very less during the winter time. Suppose let's consider if you are flying over the Mount Everest. So Mount Everest altitude is 8 kilometer, right? 8,000 meter near about. So 8 kilometer when we are flying and the degree temperature is minus 50 degree Celsius, what will happen? There will be a formation of ice, right? So when ice is forming in this, when ice is forming in this instrument, it will block the holes. It will block the holes. We cannot read the values. We cannot read the pressure values. We cannot read the pressure value. So in order to avoid the formation of icing, the electronic instruments here they have just used the heaters, right? But the modern aircrafts are having sensors, various types of sensor. Depending upon the sensor reading, the heater will be on and it will be setting up automatically with their respective values, so that the ice will be melted. Ice will be started to melt, and the pressure value can be continuously read. Okay, we can get the pressure value continuously. So this is one of the core area. Icing problem is biggest problem in all type of aircraft, icing. So if you guys are interested like to do research with your instruments, right, various types of instruments and systems, you can choose anti-icing systems. You can read about anti-icing system. Okay, anti-icing system. So it is the biggest problem in an aerospace vehicle industries. Okay, so these heaters are used for that only, to melt the ice and to get the value of pressure. Okay, so once we get the initial value of pressure, because we are flying at 10 kilometer altitude, right? So we need to know the value of pressure so that we can find out at which altitude we are flying and at what speed we are flying. So the first instrument we are going to see is altimeter. So here we are having three instruments: altimeter, vertical speed indicator and air speed indicator. So first one what we are going to learn is altimeter. So altimeter, as I told, this is the basic mechanical instrument which is used earlier in the olden aircrafts, right? And still now it is also used in the pilot training aircrafts and the small aircrafts, which is having a 10 to 20 seater aircraft. They are using this manual systems, okay, manual instruments. But what altimeter is very much necessary. In modern system also we are having altimeter. Okay, modern avionic instrument also we are having with altimeter. So altimeter is the instrument which will help the pilot to know the height of an aircraft above a given pressure level. So we are having sea level, right? Sea level, mean sea level. We will be calling that as mean sea level. Suppose the aircraft is flying at certain altitude, the pilot cannot determine with his naked eye, right? He cannot determine the altitude with his naked eye. So one instrument which will help the pilot to see, to calculate the height of an aircraft, like above at which altitude the aircraft is flying, that will be calculated using this altimeter. So it will be measured in feet. Okay, so this altimeter instrument is calculated with the static port. So as I told earlier, pitot stat tube. So pitot tube is there, stat port is there. So static pressure, with the static pressure, the altimeter will be determined. Okay, altimeter will be working and we can determine the altitude of the aircraft from the mean sea level. From the mean sea level, every place, like if you are from Virudhunagar, you can see in Wikipedia Virudhunagar is having some altitude, right, from sea level, like 300-meter altitude. Since right now in Mount Everest, as I told, right? So it is from the sea level, it is an altitude of 1,848 meters, right? So that is the altitude what we are speaking. But the pilot cannot determine the altitude just by flying the vehicle, right? Flying the aircraft. So this altimeter will help the pilot to understand the height of the aircraft. So this is the manual reading, olden day aircraft scenario, but still now these systems are very much accurate. These systems are very much accurate, and still now America's Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, that is the world most important organization for approving aircrafts. Suppose if you are developing an aircraft, we need to get approval from FAA spacecrafts, right? All these approvals need to be done by FAA. So till now FAA is approving these systems and instruments, okay, systems and instruments, because they are giving the accurate value for particular reading, altitude calculations, okay. So the next one is airspeed indicator. So altimeter will help us to find the altitude of the aircraft, and airspeed indicator will help us to calculate the speed of the aircraft. Speed of the aircraft, like speed of our car or bike, right? So we are measuring the speed of the car or bike, but it is not easiest thing like as we are measuring for bike or car, right? Because we are flying, we are not driving, right? We are flying. So the airspeed indicator needs the dynamic pressure, that is ram air, right? So in the pitot static tube we are having the inlet air is over here. So the altimeter will be using static port, whereas the airspeed indicator will use the dynamic pressure, ram air. So airspeed indicator or ASI, they will be calling it as ASI, okay. So ASI is an instrument which will help the aircraft to calibrate the speed of the aircraft, miles per hour. Miles per hour means like how we are mentioning kilometer per hour, right? So they are mentioning with miles per hour, speed of the aircraft. So to measure the speed of the aircraft, we need airspeed indicator. So this is the second instrument. So the third instrument is vertical speed indicator. So again you can see that what is that vertical speed indicator. Just now we have learned the airspeed indicator, which means the speed of the aircraft, right? Speed of the aircraft. So what is this vertical speed indicator? We have to understand one thing, that our aircraft is not only going to fly in a straight line, our aircraft is also going to fly in a vertical way also. From the takeoff, it is going to fly in a vertical way. It is not only flying in a straight leveled path. It will take off, it will descend, it will again take off, it can do maneuvers, and it can perform various type of activities, right? So this vertical speed indicator will help us to calculate the speed of the aircraft when it is flying vertically. So horizontal is speed of the aircraft. Airspeed indicator will help us to calculate the horizontal speed. Vertical speed will help us to calculate the vertical speed. So vertical speed means how we can say that. When we speak about speed, how it is determined, speed of the aircraft from one point to another point, from one location to another location, in bike also, in car also, right? So the same, when we are traveling from one location to another location, the distance is calculated, whether it is 2 km or 3 km, whatever the distance, how much time is taken to cover this 2 km altitude, the horizontal distance. So that's how we are saying the speed of the aircraft. Speed of the aircraft is measured with horizontal distance traveled by the aircraft. But when it comes to the vertical speed indicators, it is determined with the altitude. Altitude. Suppose this is my altitude, sea level. I am taking off from sea level and I have attained a vertical flight at 1 km. So how much time it has been taken from the sea level to 1 kilometer distance. That is called as vertical speed indicator. So this is widely used in aircraft and mostly used in helicopters, drones, quadcopters. Because helicopter, the concept of helicopter is vertical takeoff. It will be taking off vertically. It is not going to use the runway. It is just going to take off vertically. So without this vertical speed indicator, we cannot fly the aircraft or any spacecraft vertically, because we are not going to get the reading. Without the readings, data, without the speed value, the pilot cannot control the aircraft. Controlling is a very much important factor. Okay. So this vertical speed indicator is playing a vital role. So three instruments we have learned so far. One is altimeter to identify what is the altitude. Second one is airspeed indicator, at what horizontal speed the aircraft is flying, and vertical speed indicator at what altitude the speed of altitude need to be determined. So that is called as rate of climb or rate of descent in feet per minute. In feet per minute. I hope you can understand. Suppose if you are having any queries, you type in the chat box. We can discuss that later also. Okay. Suppose if you are having any other queries, you just type in the chat box. We can discuss that. Okay. So these three preliminary instruments are very much used in the aircraft. Okay. So the fourth instrument is turn indicators. So when we speak about turn, the word turn means like we are riding a bike or car. When there is a sudden turn, right, in the left turn or right turn, we are going to turn the bike or car with the particular speed, right? We will be reducing the speed and we will be moving the steering and we will be turning in the left or right as indicated. But when it comes to the aircraft, it is not that much easier, because in bike or car we are driving, so you have to keep that in mind. In bike or car we are just driving and we are having support. The wheel is supported in the road, right, in the ground. But in the aircraft there is no support. We are flying and we need to turn, right? So during that time we are going to use turn indicators. So turn indicator is having two different type of instruments. One is turn and slip indicator and turn coordinators. Turn coordinator is indicated over here and turn slip indicator is mentioned here. So for better understanding of this concept, like what is exactly happening in this turn coordinator and turn slip indicator, I need to explain few factors. So without these few factors, you cannot understand what is happening in this turn indicator and turn coordinator. Because you can easily understand what is altimeter, right, to measure the altitude at which the aircraft is flying. That you can understand. Airspeed indicator, horizontal speed. Vertical indicator, okay, when we are flying vertically, we need to calculate the speed, rate of climb. But when it comes to the turn indicator, you cannot just simply understand what is happening. You need to know how the aircraft is flying and what are the aircraft control surfaces. So for that, I have included the preliminary aerodynamic forces of an aircraft. So even though you are an electronics engineer, right? So you should not think why I need to know these factors. The multidisciplinary M-shaped professionalism. M-shaped means like multidisciplinary. Okay, because you are an engineer and you are electronics and you are having specialized area and you are going to apply that area in another field. Okay, here what we are learning, aerospace vehicles. So when we want to know that aerospace vehicle, you need to know some mechanical concept also. Without that, you cannot apply your knowledge in that particular field. Okay. So how these aircrafts are working? So aircrafts are working in with four type of forces. So as mentioned here, lift force, which will help the aircraft to lift up. Okay. Thrust force, which will help the aircraft to move forward. Drag force is the resistive force which will resist the aircraft forward motion, and weight is obviously every object in the under the gravity is having weight, right? So our body is having weight, our the bike, cell phone, everything is having weight. So similarly, the aircraft will be also having weight that will be acting on a point called CG, center of gravity. So don't think that it is not going to helpful for you guys. When you want to understand, when you want to apply your knowledge in the aerospace sector, you need to know the basic concept how the aircraft is flying. Okay, so the basic forces on the aircraft is these four type of forces. So first one is lift. So let me turn on my video, let me stop sharing so that I can explain that, and I will give you that idea what is exactly happening. Ma'am, can you see able to see my video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I hope I am not boring the session.
Yes, sir. It's interesting,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So first of all, you need to know what exactly happening in the aircraft. Then you can apply your knowledge of instruments and other factors in the aircraft. Okay. So as I told, lift is acting in the upper. So which means the aircraft is going to lift off, right? The aircraft is lifting off from the aircraft. Right? So this is lift. Thrust is acting in the frontal portion. As you have seen in the image, thrust is acting in the frontal. So when the aircraft is moving, so this is the thrust. So weight, the entire object is having a weight. So due to the gravity, the weight will be always acting downward. So weight will be acting downward. Okay. So what aircraft and spacecraft, every flying objects, what they are doing, on which principle they are working on, we have to overcome the weight of the entire object. So the aircraft is having some weight, let's say 1000 Newton. So our lift need to be generated more than the weight, then only we can lift off. If we are generating lift less than the weight, our aircraft is not going to fly. It will be just in the ground itself. When we are generating more lift, our aircraft can lift. Okay, more than the weight. So suppose the weight of the aircraft is 1000 Newton, or you can consider 1000 kilogram generally, since you are from EC department. Okay, 1000 kilogram. So you need to generate a lift more than the 1000 kilogram, then only your aircraft can fly. Okay, so these four aerodynamic forces are very much important. So the final force is drag force. So the drag force is due to the surface. We are having a shape, right? The best example for drag force is if you are going in a bike or car. If you are going in a bike or car, you have to be very much aware that if you are having a rectangular surface, any rectangular surface, and if you are moving against the air, you cannot move that in such a speed. You cannot move that in such a speed, because due to the rectangular sheet shape, okay, it will increase the drag force. So the drag force is a resistive force. So thrust is the forward force, drag is a resistive force due to the shape of the vehicle. It is not only existing in the aircraft, it is existing in the bike, it is existing in the car. Even when we are running, that is existing in our entire body also. Okay, drag force. So you can read that about what is drag force, so you will get better knowledge. So these four forces are acting in the aircraft. I hope you can understand the very basic. Okay, ma'am, hope the screen is visible, right?
Sir. Yes, sir. Screen is visible.
Okay, okay, ma'am, fine. So these four forces are acting in the aircraft, and another thing is control surfaces. So this is very much important. So as I told earlier in the first system itself, we are having various type of control systems, because the aircraft need to be controlled. When we are flying any object, it has to fly continuously, right? It has to fly continuously. Suppose if you are not having stability, it will fall down, right? It will fall down. So many of you are playing cricket, right? So you might have heard about in swing, out swing, and even when the fielder is throwing the ball, right? So at that time we need to do various type of tricks, right? Every player will be doing some tricks in swing and out swing. He will be rotating the ball, right, for performing that. So similarly, when the ball is also when the bowler is throwing, the ball is also in the air, right? So it will be rotating, the ball itself rotate to create a movement. So like that, when the aircraft is flying in the air, to maintain the stability, we need various type of control surfaces. So control surface systems. So pilot's cockpit will be here, and the wing section we are having various type of control systems, and also in the tail system tail surface we are having various type of control systems. As I told earlier, it is a vast topic, we cannot finish that in a single lecture, but I will give you the basic definitions, what are the necessary control systems. Okay, so let's see that there are three major control systems as indicated in this right side image. A, which is called as aileron. Okay, the control surface in the wing, that is indicated in the green color, right? Green color, that is aileron. So here also you can see outboard aileron, right? At the tip of the wing we are having aileron. And B is the pilot's cockpit control surface. Pilot, like we are having steering in car, right? Steering in car. So B is the control stick for the pilot, control stick for the pilot. And C over here, C is the elevator. So these are all very technical term, so you cannot remember that easily, but try to understand. Okay, so these are all the control surfaces. Without these control surfaces, the aircraft cannot fly. So D is rudder. D is rudder. A is aileron. B is control stick, which will be used to controlled by the pilot for the entire aircraft. And C is the elevator. So green color again in the tail section. So this is in the wing section, this is in the tail section, elevator, and the yellow color one is rudder. Yellow color one is rudder. So these three control surfaces, aileron, elevator, and rudder, are used to control the aircraft. Like in car, we are having steering, we are having accelerator, we are having brake, we are having a clutch, right? So that is used to control the car, right? Similarly, in aircraft, although there are various types of parts, engines, controlment, everything is there, but when we speak about control systems, these three control systems are very much necessary: aileron, elevator, and rudder. Even in the spacecrafts, I hope many of you might have heard about space shuttle, so I will show that how this is the same concept is implemented in the space shuttle also, so that you can easily understand. Okay, I will show, yeah, with this image. Okay, so here you can see the aileron, right? So as I have shown here, this is for aircraft, right? Control system for aircraft, and this is for spacecraft, the space shuttle, which is developed by NASA, right? So that is for space shuttle. So the same concept of flying will be implemented in that also. Okay, so aileron is here, so similar, but the design is different. That is okay, the control surfaces are same. Aileron is here, elevator is here. So similarly, this entire surface will act as a elevator, and we are having a rudder, vertical stabilizer, rudder. So you can see here in the space shuttle also we are having rudder. Okay, so for space shuttle the control system is over here, and for aircraft the control system is like this. Okay, so the mechanical control system, because the modern control system is we are using avionics, various types of instruments we are using, but the olden days they have just flied this aircraft with mechanical linkages. Mechanical linkages means they have used wires to connect all these surfaces. So here you can see they have used wires. Now they are having sensors where the entire control system will be connected with various types of sensors to activate the control surfaces. When we are having sensors, we can go for autopilot mode. So I will explain this, what is autopilot mode and how they are achieving this autopilot mode. Okay, so this is the control surfaces. So let me switch on my camera so that I can explain with the video and you can able to understand how the aircraft is going to fly. So this is the top view. Okay, I am showing with the top view. So our aileron will be located here, ailerons. In the wing section, both side of the wing we will be having aileron. So at the tail we will be having elevator, and at the vertical stabilizer we will be having rudder. So all these three control surfaces we are going to control the entire aircraft. So when we speak about controlling the aircraft can move up or down. The aircraft can move left or right, and the aircraft can also move rolling right and rolling left. Okay, so three different movements the aircraft can give. One is pitching. Pitching means up and down. So when you are flying next time in an aircraft, you have to understand this concept. Okay, so when the aircraft is going up, this is pitch up movement. When the aircraft is going down, this is pitch down movement. And when the aircraft is rolling left, rolling right. When the aircraft is turning, turn left, turn right. Okay, so this is called here yaw. This is the rolling movement, and this is the pitching up, pitching down movement. Okay, so three different movements are there in the aircraft. So we are going to control the entire aircraft with these three different types of movements. With three different types of movements. So let's come back to the slides. Now we will see the turn indicator. We will see the instrument called turn indicator. Yes. So as I told, the aircraft is having three different movements: pitch up, pitch down, right? Pitch up, pitch down, and left turn, right turn, and also we are having rolling. We are having rolling movement. So I can explain with this slide itself. Yes. So when the aircraft is moving up and down, pitch movement. Okay. When the aircraft is moving left and right, turn movement. When the aircraft is rotating clockwise and anti-clockwise, rolling movement. Every aircraft, fighter aircraft, spacecrafts, everything is having this same type of movements. Okay, so this need to be controlled with the turn indicators. Why we need turn indicators? What is the necessity of the turn indicators? When you are driving a car at 90 degree, let's consider, okay, you are driving your car at 90 kilometer per hour speed, and there is a sudden turn, right? Whether you can possibly turn the car with the same 90 kilometer per hour, that is not possible, right? With the same 90 kilometer per hour, we cannot turn the car with a sudden right turn. So what we will be doing? We will be doing the necessary reduction in speed. We will be slowing down the speed. So we will be coming to the 40 kilometer and we will be coming to the 30 kilometer. Then we will perform the turning. So similarly, when the aircraft is want to turn, we need a particular speed limit, we need a particular turn angle also. So that will be determined with the turn coordinator and turn slip indicator. So let's see in the next image how this system is working on. So here this slipping turn, right? So here you can see a knob in the instrument. So that black color knob is there, right? So when the black color knob is in the middle, then that is the perfect turn. Then the aircraft is said to be coordinated turn. So always the pilot will prefer for going into the coordinated turn. When the black color knob, right, the ball is moving out of this center button, the aircraft will start to slip. So what is that mean by slip or skid? So in a car, when you are driving a car, you might have, or in your bike also, right, skidding, which means we are flying at we are driving at over speed, and when we want to turn, our bike will skid. So if this is the actual road, right? Due to our overspeed, our bike will be moving like this. It is not going to move in the original path. Due to overspeed, it will be moving in the another direction. So that is the skid. If you are flying, if you are driving with less speed, what will happen? It will be turning here itself. So that is called a slip. So similarly in the aircraft also, the same concept is applied. So always the pilot need to fly with the coordinated turn. Okay, coordinated turn. So this instrument, turn indicator instrument, will help them to control the aircraft. So the final instrument is called as attitude instrument. So as I told, in the three pitch movement is there. One is pitch, another one is roll, and third one is bank. So all these three type of movements are controlled with the attitude indicator. Okay, attitude indicator. So the attitude indicator is working with the principle of gyroscope. Gyroscope instruments. Okay, gyroscope. Okay, so on this basis of gyroscope, the attitude indicator is working. So here you can see the movements of the aircraft.
Okay, என்ன சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தா என்ன சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தா
So here you can see that climbing left, straight climb. So you can see that movement of turn indicator. So this is here, and you can see the entire system is turned, and here also you can see entire system is turned. Okay, so here you can see the indicator is showing you are flying straight, but here you can see it is showing you are flying left side, you are flying right side. So with this we can control the aircraft also, whether we are flying straight or we are flying left or right. Okay, so this is the attitude indicator. So all these basic instruments, attitude indicator, turn coordinators, and vertical speed indicator and airspeed indicator and altimeter is used as a basic instruments. So I have shown you the mechanical concept, right? But how it has been implemented in the modern aircrafts. So the modern aircraft electronic flight display is playing the vital role, because nowadays everything is coming in the touch screen mode, right? Even SpaceX, which launched their spacecraft in the last year, okay, they have given with full touch display. In the spacecraft, they have removed the button system and they have implemented full touch display. Okay, so you can read about that. Actually, those research article and those papers are not available in the internet. Some concepts have been available. Okay, so there is no proper books have been written on that particular programs for spacecrafts or how they are implementing these systems. Some research papers are available. You can learn through Google Scholar itself. So how these modern electronic flight systems are working? So whatever we have learned earlier with basic manual mechanical concept and their necessary parameters, all these parameters are listed in the single display column. So here you can see altimeter. So altimeter is in feet. Okay, altimeter. And vertical speed indicator is here, which is attached over here. And slip scale indicator. Turn indicator is over here. Attitude indicator is over here. Turn indicator is here, right? So this is slip and skid indicator, and this is turn indicator. Air speed indicator is here. Horizontal speed is there. Horizontal situation indicator, that is magnetic compass, near about magnetic compass. All these are located in a single display itself. Before that, all these instruments, whatever the instruments we have seen, everything will be available separately. All the instruments will be available separately in the cockpit. Okay, so when it comes to the modern avionic pilot display, it will be coming under the one single display itself. One single display itself. In the SpaceX also they have implemented this. So how they are going to manage the entire systems? So we are having various types of systems. So they have implemented a flight management system, which is also known as FMS. So they have different type of own operating systems. Like we are having Android OS for mobile, Windows OS for systems, and various type of Linux OS we are having. So for pilot's cockpit, they are having separate operating system, and using that operating system, they will feed the data. Feed the data means, let's as I told earlier, how the autopilot system will be working. When the aircrafts or the spacecrafts introducing this flight management system, the data will be stored. So what type of data will be stored? Let's say I want to fly from Chennai to Delhi without pilot, fully autopilot system. Okay, Chennai to Delhi without pilot, I am going to fly. So what are the necessary factors I need? First of all, I need to know at which altitude I am going to take off. So I have to start collecting the data. Okay, Chennai is having an altitude from the sea level, let's say
Sir,
100
Kishan
meter
sir,
altitude.
your voice is
Yes, ma'am.
breaking, sir.
Now it is clear.
Yes, sir, clear, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
ma'am. Sorry for that. Yeah, sorry for that. So Chennai to Delhi, we are going to fly. So let's say Chennai's sea level altitude is 100 meter. So we are starting our aircraft from the 100-meter altitude. So what we need, first of all, we need to include the pressure, density, and all other factors in the flight management system. So the input data need to be feeder to the computer. Input data need to be feeder to the computer. Velocity of the aircraft need to be feeder. Control system. So as I told earlier, we are having three different control surfaces: aileron, elevator, and rudder. So how much we need to use the elevator, how much we need to use the rudder, right? Where we have to use the rudder. So all this data need to be fed to the computer itself. Like basic coding need to be done. So even though the concept has been done with electronic instruments, you need to work with computer science department for understanding how to develop particular code for your instruments. Okay, because the entire autopilot system is depending upon the electronic instruments only, right? But when you want to work in that electronics systems correctly, and it has to work correctly, right? So without having the knowledge of coding, we cannot perform this multidisciplinary work. So you have to be well prepared to work in a multidisciplinary aspects than in a single disciplinary. You have to start working in the multidisciplinary aspects. So using this autopilot system, we can successfully fly the aircraft from anywhere to anywhere in the world. Not only in the world, right now they are trying to do that with space flight also. Okay, entirely autopilot flight, space flight they are planning. Okay, thus already the satellites are coming under that only. It is flying on the autopilot mode only, but for performing various type of missions, so they are planning to do that same in manned vehicle also. Manned vehicle, but the entire aircraft will be controlled in the autopilot mode. Okay, so some of the industries are there, those who want to pursue and those who want to get a good opportunity in aerospace sector from avionics or electronics background. So these are the listed top 13 companies which are all working in the avionics systems. So Honeywell is in India. So surely there are many opportunity in Honeywell. Rockwell Collins Aerospace is in India. Okay, Thales is also in India. GE is also in India. Whereas the most widely used instruments are built from Garmin. So go to the YouTube and you can look into the Garmin web page. So they have already developed various types of instruments and systems for aircrafts and spacecrafts. So Raytheon, UTC Aerospace Systems, and in India also, like DRDO is also having various types of labs. Okay, electronics lab. DRDO is also having electronics lab. CSIR, they are also having electronics lab. Okay, so electronics means which is going to help for aviation sector. Okay, avionics, focused on avionics. Okay, so DRDO systems you can see, look into that. CSIR labs you can look into that. And obviously, if you are going for master degree, then you can go for IITs, MITs, right? Where people are working with the avionics instrument, you can surely approach them and you can get the better benefit from them. So as I told earlier, I request all of you to come and get a M-shaped, turn yourself into an M-shaped professional, because no one is going to help apart from your faculty. So you have to gather the knowledge from your faculty and you have to turn into an M-shaped professional. Don't leave your institution with T-shaped professionalism. That is not going to help you if you want to pursue your career in aerospace sector. Okay. So with this, I would like to say few factors about what actually we are working with Wings of Aero and how we are helping the students to understand the aerospace concepts. We are having various type of free courses are available. Aerospace courses are available in our platform, digital learning platform. Already, Shivan sir also have accepted the request, because various ISRO professors and various professors from NASA. So this event was given by deputy chief from NASA. So they have delivered the lectures actually. Okay. So how to design a spacecraft, how to design a launch vehicle. So all the aircraft design oriented courses are available at free of cost. So you can learn that at any time. You don't need to pay anyone for learning. Okay. And we are having some electronics background courses also. So which will be available under electronics category, electrical and electronics category. So here you can see role of electronics in aerospace systems and nanotechnology in satellite communications, and how approach to avionics. And he is the one who is from Collins Aerospace. Just now I have told, right, you are having opportunity in Collins Aerospace. India is also having Collins Aerospace. So he is a principal director of Collins Aerospace. So you can contact him at any time and you can learn from him also. And also we are having a journal, free publication journal to publish your work, any type of work, research work, or any type of technical articles you are writing, you can publish in this journal, TEMS journal, which is having ISSN number. And we are trying to collaborate with Scopus soon. And also we are having a conference in the next year, 2022 April, focused on academic and scientific research in electronics and communication. So if you are interested, you can apply for that. The most important thing about this conference is we are providing some awards: best professor award, best scientist award, and entrepreneur award, and the various types of award categories we are organizing, which will helpful to enrich your career. Okay. So based on your performance, based on your work, we need to recognize the work. So this conference will help you to recognize that. Okay. So with this, I would like to show some opportunities, what other factors we are working. We are giving internship and training program also on hypersonic vehicle. Hypersonic vehicle means spacecrafts. So like cruise and acceleration vehicle, re-entry vehicles, space shuttle, space capsule, and ISRO's Gaganyaan mission. So those things we will be discussing. And also we are the only one in India who is using NASA OpenESP software. You can check in the Google also. We are developing aircrafts using this NASA's OpenESP software. So that also we are providing internship, and various type of programs also we are working on that. So if you are interested, then you can join from your institution itself. So our entire work has been recognized in India 56%, and in US 5.3%, and UK in 2.1%, and rest of the world are using 36.5%. People are using Wings of Aero. So with this, I would like to thank Department of Electronics and Communication, Kamaraj Engineering College, and head of the department, and Jayalakshmi ma'am, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share my knowledge. Thank you. Any other questions or queries, you can type in the chat box.
Students and faculty members, please ask your queries.
Any questions you can type in the chat or you can unmute and speak. We can try to clear that.
Sir, good morning, sir. Hello, good morning, sir. Ishan, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I'm really serious student, sir.
Ma'am, your
Can you
voice is
tell me
ma'am,
the
ma'am, your voice is breaking.
oh, now whether it is clear, sir?
Ah, yes, ma'am. Fine.
Uh, can you say the eligibility for internship, sir? Whether third year students are eligible for internship?
Yes, ma'am. They are eligible, ma'am. I have to tell few things that the most advantage thing what we are providing in this internship is the first 3 months it will be a training program and the next 3 months it will be a project. So at the end of the project they have to submit a report. So
Oh,
once they have submitted the report, that will be published as a book itself. So author name will be given to the faculty, internal faculty and external faculty, and the particular student. The student will be the corresponding author of that particular book with ISBN number. So that is the most advantage thing we are providing in that.
oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. It may be online or offline, sir.
It is right currently online only, ma'am. Currently online.
Yeah.
COVID
Oh,
situation. Yeah.
so they can work from the, they can attend the regular
Home itself.
classes, regular hours, or
Yeah. No, the
okay,
sessions will be in the evening time, mostly in the evening and Saturday Sundays.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Any contact number if you have, can put it in chat box, sir. Can you share it in chat box for
Yes, ma'am.
internship? Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Any other queries? Any other questions? Okay. Ma'am, as you requested that what we have did in our world record, so I would like to say share that few things in that. Shall I do that, ma'am,
Yes,
or
sir.
you are
Yes,
having?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
fine. So simple. The aim of this world record, actually it was a Guinness World Record what we have broken, which was done by I think France. Okay, people from France. So we broke that record in that. So the main agenda is to develop and design and develop and a product of world's largest hydro rocket. So we are going to use water as our propellant, and also we are going to calculate the altitude. So what we have did is, as you have seen that altimeter what we have learned. So we have made an instrument with altimeter for our water rocket, hydro rocket, and we have launched that successfully. So what is our agenda? The previous world record was they have developed a hydro rocket with 5 meter altitude. So we have broken that world record with 5.1 meter. So here you can see that the altitude, the height of the rocket is 5.1 meter, and the diameter also we have recorded. So diameter we have done with 0.5 meter. So we have broken the previous record of uh, like previously they have only 4.5 meter height of the rocket. So we have developed that. So with our students, even though I am from Tirunelveli, I went to Chandigarh University and I have taken this initiative. So by doing this type of activities, students will get like encouragement to, because they are practically going to apply this knowledge of what they are learned in the classes. So we have developed that rocket, and during in the night time around 6 to 7 p.m. we have launched that successfully. So at this nose section, what we have placed is we have placed an altimeter sensor. So altimeter sensor will help us when we have launched this rocket. The altimeter will help us to identify how much altitude we have attained, and also we have placed a camera for recording. Okay. So here you can see. I have turned off the audio actually.
This is a teamwork, isn't it, sir?
Yeah, it is a team of near about 10 to 20 people have worked.
20 people. Some
Yeah.
students also, sir.
Students also does that.
Yes, sir.
So actually, the success is not about like watching a movie the first day. They have to come up. The students have to come up with some brilliant ideas, and they have to
Yes, sir.
successfully enjoy their projects. So that is the agenda of our work also. So we have successfully launched that, and we have taken the readings from the altimeter, and we have noted that the water rocket has successfully launched about 104 feet.
How long
So the
you have
previous
worked for achieving this, sir?
ma'am, we have started this work for 6 months, before 6 months,
Yes, sir.
and after 6 months we have successfully done this. So the graph over here, what we are seeing here is, it is the reading which we have taken from the altimeter sensor. So the initial level, 330 meters, that is the sea level. That is the sea level of particular Chandigarh. Chandigarh sea level is 330 meter. So from there we have calculated the altitude. This is the position. The peak position is over 368 meter. So that is the value. Okay. So from that we have identified and we have recorded 104 feet successfully, which is the previous record was broken. Previous record was 75 meter. So this is what we have done in the world record.
How many department people have worked together, sir?
Ma'am, we have included EC department for that altimeter sensor, because we are not aware of how we are going to calculate that. So we have requested the electronics department for that. But most of the people are from aerospace
Aerospace
itself.
engineering. Sir.
Yes. So this is
Sir,
what we have done in
Kishan
our
sir,
work.
you
Yes,
told
ma'am.
that the
Yes, sir.
fuel is, I think, water, right?
Yes,
So
yes, sir.
you convert
Hydro
this
rocket.
water into hydrogen, sir. Because you lift the rocket means.
Sir, there are many researchers are going on the particular factor, but getting that thrust is very much less in that. So, but people are working on that, sir. If students are interested, they can also work on that.
By using hydrogen gas, they have to lift the rocket.
Yes, sir. But they have to be very much careful, like
Yes, sir.
how they are controlling that hydrogen. Yes,
But otherwise, it may happen heavy loss, right? Hydrogen
yes,
is
sir.
like a bomb.
Yes, sir. So, any other queries? If you are having any other queries, please let us know.
Students? Sir, is there any possibility that we can lively watch what inside the aircraft is?
Yes, ma'am. There are some possibilities. Is there like if you visit air show in Bangalore, like Government of India will be organizing air shows in Bangalore in 2023, I think, because this year they have done already 2021. So
Okay. For every
next
year
air
they
show
are
will be
doing,
2000.
sir?
No, ma'am, twice
No.
in a year, like
Twice in.
twice. No, 2 years once they will be doing.
Oh, okay, okay, sir. Oh.
But other than that, if you want to look into that, you can contact Airport Authority of India, Madurai.
Ah,
So you can
they may
ask the
permit.
students. Yeah, they will be giving the permission for that.
Okay. In your university, you'll be having a live flight, sir?
We are having a model aircraft with Cessna model only,
Model.
and yeah.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, you can contact. There is a Infant Jesus College, no, ma'am, in Thuthukudi. They are
Infant
having the
Jesus. Yes,
aircraft.
sir.
Yeah, they are
Oh,
having very good lab with instruments and all, avionic instruments and all.
okay, okay, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Very fine,
Are
sir.
you in MIT, Madras Institute of Technology? They are having best lab.
Yes, sir.
for avionics. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. There you did your engineering, isn't it, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Students, so you can type in the chat box if you have any queries.
So Kishan sir, we have to maintain long-term relationship, not up to this. So further we will discuss what we do
Sure,
for the
sure, sir.
benefit
Sure,
of our students, right? Especially
sure, sir.
internship or in-plant training. Yes,
Yes, sir. That can be done. Those who are interested to work in the aerospace field, surely that will be helpful for them. We can do that, sir.
sure, sir, sure, sir.
Sure.
Then madam and we will approach you again, right? Uh, suppose,
So, sure, sir. You are
yes,
welcome.
sir.
Almost welcome, sir.
Yes.
Now, is it work from home for you or in Chandigarh University you are, sir, now?
No, ma'am. Right now, I am working from home only.
Tirunelveli you are.
Yeah, from near to Tirunelveli, Alangulam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, shall I conclude the session, sir? Students, you don't have any doubts, you don't want to interact with guests?
Can I ask one?
Santosh, your voice is clear. You can speak with the guests.
Ma'am, sir has mentioned that he used the hydro engine in the rocket propulsion. Ma'am.
Santosh, your voice is little bit breaking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, little bit better.
Ma'am, sir has said that he used the hydro engine to propel the rocket, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes, you can speak with sir itself.
Sir, so I want
No,
to know.
no, Santosh, I have told that I am in this world rocket. We have just used hydro like water itself. We have not used hydrogen. But what I have told is there are many research for liquid hydrogen. Even NASA is also conducting that research. So that is a long-term process. But what we have used here is just water.
Yes, sir, I get it, sir. The water is used as a fuel. So, do you think the engine is producible in other sorts of transport?
There is a Russian agency. He has developed an Echo rocket. So you can search that. He has developed Echo rocket, which is used for second stage. So we are having various types of stages, right, in aircrafts. First stage, sorry, in rockets, in first stage, second stage.
Yes,
So what they have did is instead of having the liquid hydrogen fuel or any other type of fuel, they have made second stage with simple water itself. So they have developed the rocket with second stage of water propelled rocket itself. So I request you to look into the Echo rocket. So they have just developed that. They are going to launch it soon.
yes, sir.
Just it is a testing phase. Yeah.
Water propelled engine is it cost efficient and production efficient for other modes of transport, sir? Ground based transport. அதுக்கும் அதை கொண்டு வர முடியுமா? Can we?
கண்டிப்பாக கொண்டு வர முடியும். ஏன்னா அதோட எஃபிஷியன்ட் ஆனால் எந்த அளவுக்கு இருக்குங்கிறது தெரியாது. இப்போ நமக்கு வந்து பெட்ரோலோ இல்லை மற்ற கெமிக்கலோ யூஸ் பண்ணுறோன்னா அதில் ஒரு மைலேஜ் பெனிஃபிட்லாம் இருக்குல்ல. ஸோ அதெல்லாம் நம்ம பார்க்கணும். எல்லாமே இப்போ நம்ம எல்லாத்தையுமே பார்த்தா தான் அது தெரியும். இப்போ நான் வாட்டரை யூஸ் பண்ணுறேன்னு சொன்னேன்னா அதில் த்ரஸ்ட் வந்து கம்மியாக தான் கிடைக்கும். ராக்கெட்டில் யூஸ் பண்ணுறோன்னா த்ரஸ்ட் கம்மியாக தான் கிடைக்கும். ஸோ எனக்கு ஸ்பீடு முக்கியம் இல்லை, ஆனால் எனக்கு பறந்தா போதும் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு லான்ச்சில் ஒரு கான்செப்டில் இருந்தால் ராக்கெட் யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். ஆனால் எனக்கு வந்து ஸ்பீடும் வேணும், நல்லா ஹைட்டாகவும் பறக்கணும்னா நான் வந்து வேறு ஃபியூவல் தானே போய் ஆகணும்.
Yes, sir. But
புரியுதா? ஸோ
transport
அது
ஸ்ட்ரெயிட் லீனியரா தான் இருக்கும். அதுக்கு அந்த அளவுக்கு த்ரஸ்ட் தேவைப்படாதுல்ல. நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ண
ஆமாம்.
engine வந்து can it be replicated into other modes of transport அப்படின்றது கேட்குது.
கண்டிப்பாக யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். ஆனால் நம்ம கண்ட்ரோல் சிஸ்டம்ஸ் எல்லாமே யூஸ் பண்ணணும். இப்போ நாங்கள் டெவலப் பண்ணது வந்து எந்த விதமான கண்ட்ரோல் சிஸ்டம்ஸும் யூஸ் பண்ணலை. அதாவது கண்ட்ரோல் சிஸ்டம்னா நான் என்ன சொல்கிறேன்னா, இப்போ ஃபியூயலை வந்து ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட அளவு தான் இன்ஜெக்ட் பண்ணணும், அதாவது இந்த அளவு தான் ஃப்ளோ இருக்கணும், இந்த அளவு தான் ப்ரெஷர் கண்ட்ரோல் இருக்கணும், அதை நாங்கள் பண்ணவே இல்லை. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம பண்ணணும்னா நம்மளால் அச்சீவ் பண்ண முடியும்.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
ஓகே ஓகே.
Sir, what is the weight of rocket?
வெயிட் ஆஃப் த ராக்கெட் ஆர் ஹைட் ஆஃப் த ராக்கெட்? நாங்கள் ஆக்சுவலி வெயிட் மெஷர் பண்ணவே இல்லை. ஆனால் எம்டி வெயிட் மெஷர், அதாவது தண்ணியை வச்சு மெஷர் பண்ணலை, எம்டி வெயிட் மெஷர் பண்ணோம். எம்டி வெயிட்டு எங்களுக்கு வந்து மோர் தேன் 15 to 16 கிலோகிராம் இருந்துச்சு.
Okay. All inside is water bottle, sir.
புரியல என்ன கேட்டீங்க?
Water bottle தான் இருக்கு sir full.
ஃபுல் அண்ட் ஃபுல் வாட்டர் பாட்டில். அதாவது நாங்கள் என்ன பண்ணோம்னா ஒரு 1000 வாட்டர் பாட்டில்ஸ் ஆர்டர் பண்ணோம், ஸ்பெஷலி மேட். அதாவது இந்த ஈவெண்ட்டை நாங்கள் அச்சீவ் பண்ணுறதுக்காகவே நாங்களே ஒரு டிசைன் கொடுத்து அந்த டிசைனில் தான் எங்களுக்கு வாட்டர் பாட்டில் வேணும்னு சொல்லி நாங்கள் மேனுஃபேக்சர் பண்ணோம். ஸோ அந்த மேனுஃபேக்சர் பண்ணதை எல்லாத்தையுமே நாங்கள் கனெக்ட் பண்ணி நம்ம இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணாங்க. அதாவது 2 லிட்டர் வாட்டர் பாட்டில்ஸ் தான் 1000 வாட்டர் பாட்டில்ஸ் 2 லிட்டர் வாட்டர் பாட்டில்ஸ் டிசைன் பண்ணி வாங்கணும்.
Is there any sponsor for your world record achievement, sir?
No ma'am, there is no sponsor. We have did on our own institution money funded, sir.
Okay, sir.
How much cost, sir, to spend on this project?
Sir, to be honest, like many people will think that we have spent more than 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs like that, but actually our institution has given on here about 1 lakh. So we tried to finish that and we have successfully done that within 1 lakh itself.
Oh, good.
Because we have reduced the cost of various design concepts we have kept, but at the end we have reduced the cost of electronics items because it is costly actually. Yes. To measure various factors. So we have reduced various instruments.
Yes, sir. Because
first of all we tried
you taken for that consider.
Yeah, altimeter, because that is necessary yes, to measure the altitude.
Measure the height, yeah. Then only. So how much height your rocket reached? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good, sir. Good, super. Highly enthusiastic work.
Yes, sir.
Madam,
you,
kindly conclude it, madam. Madam.
Okay, sir.
Jayalakshmi, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Students, you don't want to share any other points? Yes. I would like to thank Dr. Ponma Kishan for enriching our students about electronics in avionics. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to thank our head of the department, Dr. R. Suresh Babu, for introducing such a passionate resource person to address our students. Thank you, sir. I thank all our faculty members for supporting me in conducting the event. My sincere thanks to Professor Alvin Rajiv of our department for his support in designing the event brochure and other things. I thank all the students for sincerely joining the session on time and attended with more interest. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the students for listening to this lecture, and thank
Wonderful
you, head of
lecture,
the department.
Thank you.
Dr. Suresh, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ponma Kishan, sir. So,
yes.
Again, I will contact you.
Yeah, sure, sir. Bye. Take care.
Thank you so much, sir.
அரவிந்த் நேற்று அந்த சந்தனா, அவங்க பேர் சந்தனாவா, அவங்க வந்து ஃபோன் பண்ணாங்க. என்னன்னா அவங்க எல்லா இதையுமே வந்து மொத்தத்தில் 2500, அதாவது அதில் 12 லிஸ்ட் அவுட் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்களா, அது எல்லாமே அவங்க வந்து ஒரு டுகெதராக சொல்லி கொடுப்பாங்கன்னு நினச்சிருக்காங்க. அந்த அவங்க பேசுங்க, எதோ நம்பர்லேருந்து பண்ணாங்க, எந்த நம்பர்லேருந்து இல்லையா, அவங்ககிட்ட எடுத்து பேசுங்க, சொல்லிடுங்க தெளிவாக. நான் உங்களுக்கு காலையில் கால் பண்ணுவாங்க, அவங்களுக்கு கிளியர் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. ஆன்ல தான் இருக்கு. அப்படிதான் நினைக்கிறேன், அந்த மாதிரி தான் நியூஸ் போயிருக்கும் போல. என்னமோ அவங்க அந்த மாதிரி கன்ஃபியூஸ் ஆயிருக்காங்க சொன்னாங்க. பேசுங்க பேசுமா தெரியும். ஹலோ சார், எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? நான் இருக்கிறேன், சொல்லுங்கள். ஆமாம், செமஸ்டருக்கு தான். அப்போ ஓரளவு சம்மட்டமாக இருக்கணும். ஆ ஆ லலலா. இது அப்லோட் சம்மர் டேர்ம் இப்போ என்ன பண்ணணுமா? ஆக்சுவலி 2 ஃபார்மேட் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். எதுக்கு சப்ஜெக்டிவ் ஃபார்மேட்டா அந்த ஃபார்மேட்டாங்க? இது சம்மர் டேர்ம் கொஸ்டினா இல்லை என்ன என்ன நடக்கும் எனக்கு ஒன்றும் புரியல. ஆமாம், எக்ஸ்ப்ளனேஷன் ஃபார் நாட் சென்டிங் கொஸ்டின் கேப் அவர்கிட்ட ஒரு நிமிஷம் அரவிந்த், அந்த பொண்ணு தான் இப்போ ஃபோன் பண்ணுறேன். கால் வெயிட்டிங்கில் இருக்கு. நீங்கள் மறுபடியும் எடுங்க, ஃபோன் பண்ணியே பேசுங்க. இல்லை இங்கே எந்த ஃபோன் ஒன்று இது பண்ணுங்க. சரி. அது என்ன தெரில தலைவரே. அப்போ நம்ம கேட்போம் அவர்கிட்ட, சார் ஃபார் சம்மர் டைம் ஆர் நெக்ஸ்ட் செமஸ்டர். அவர் பிஸியாக இருப்பார், அட்மிஷன் டியூட்டியில் பிஸிப்பா. அப்போ 100 பேரை சமாளிக்கணும். நீங்கள் ஒரு நாளைக்கு 100 பேருக்கு பேசுகிற மாதிரிங்களா? என்ன பண்ணுறதுக்கு? சரி, என்ன பண்ணுறதுக்குன்னு அவன் எல்லாம் ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது. ஓகே, சரி தலைவர், வேறு எதுவும் இல்லை. நானும் சம்மர் டைமா இல்லை அது நெக்ஸ்ட் செமஸ்டர்னு தெரியாது. அவங்க வாட்டில் எதுவும் சொன்னாங்க. அது நம்ம சொன்னால் இப்போ அவங்க போவாங்க.